Hey, my name's Rob. I'm here to go over a video. I wish this was something around when I was looking for all these parts, but I have two ATVs for my kids and I'm redoing, or I redid a lot of things, and I hope this helps y'all. And it's a 2014 for both of them, ATV 125D. I'm going to go over the parts, which you can see where the model and everything is on your ATV if you're looking for it. Links in the description. This is what it looks like, kind of a walk around on it. They're really good bikes. We've had them for quite a few years. This particular one I bought for pretty cheap and I redid a whole lot of stuff to it. Going into it, we have where the shifter is. It has reverse in this, so it's right between your legs. Haha, got y'all. But so this is one that actually has reverse. There's a 110 that doesn't. So I'm kind of showing you exactly where it's going. Here's the seat. Here's a battery. It has the parts there too. That's also there. But that's where you find your thing. There's an automatic turn off switch. You have your lights and you have your push button start. So a lot of times this goes bad and this has to get replaced. So this is one of the things that I did replace also. And here I'm going to show y'all the wires, tug on the wires that go on down. To replace that, I think it's like 2 screws, maybe 1. Run the wires down. Some have a 6 and 2 wire. This particular one's a 5 and 3. I have both types down in the description also. And this is kind of where you're looking at. You just disconnect the harness, you put the harnesses in. You got your headlights. There's 2 different types of headlights. This one has the 2 pair, of course, got those. My other kid has the single, so there's both options here. It should just be plug and play also. Then you have your throttle, pretty easy to do. I think you have a twist throttle that you could do, your hand brake for the front, and then your foot brake for the rear brakes. I've replaced majority of all this stuff on these. So here we have the carburetor, where it's located, where to go into it. You also, they have engines for these too, so if you're just trying to find something cheap, throw some money into it, because these things are like 1,600 bucks. And this is where your oil would go into, the bolt at the top of the motor there. And then there's your spark plug there, and then going underneath, this is your drain plug for your oil. So we're going to go back up. Now these will be the parts and tools that we will need. So these are the bolts I ended up getting on 10 1.5 by 25 millimeter. As you can see, 20 millimeter would be better. You'll need a 13 millimeter socket, a 3/8 ratchet, a couple 3/8 extensions, a 5/16 socket, and a crowbar. So there's going to be 2 bolts on this cover for the small sprocket. One to the bottom, one to the top. Now you can take the 3 screws off the little foot dwelling thing, push that up to be able to get to the top bolt. When you get to those, they're pretty easy to get off. Now that we have that figured out, we can go ahead and start going to the back so we can do this chain replacement and realignment. Basically, you're going to have the 2 pivot bolts we need to loosen up at the top, which hopefully you can see where I got my crowbar. Let me get that out the way here so y'all can see these other 2 bolts. Then I don't have the bolts there right now. They're right at the bottom holding those other nut kind of bolts, those adjusters. So that's the bolt that came out of there. I was missing some bolts, which is why I had to get other bolts to replace these. So then when you loosen that up, you'll use the crowbar to kind of pry the axle forward so you can get the slack, and then you put the chain on as I'm showing here, and you go underneath. It made it easier for me to go underneath and push it backwards or pull it backwards, and then it kind of popped on, and then you pull with a crowbar, pull the axle back, leave a tiny bit of slack, tighten everything up, put the nuts in. I would use red Loctite or something to hold the bolts in there, because those seem to be the things that come out all the time. So as soon as you get that done, we are good. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. Hopefully this got a lot of information for every one of y'all. Hopefully it helped somebody out.